Okay, hi everyone. Welcome again to Your PD Education. So today I have very special guest with me. His name is Pragya. He's a civil engineer. So he did his bachelor from NIT Hamirpur in civil engineering. Then he moved to ISM Dhanbad for masters in geophysics. Now he got fully funded PhD in Norway. The university name is University of Oslo, and department is geophysics department. So, first of all, Pragya, many congratulations to you and welcome to your video.
Thank you a lot. It
Mm.
means a lot.
Okay, so Pragya, there are many students who are trying constantly for European universities, especially the Scandinavian countries. I am going to ask you many questions, which I think most of the students have in their mind. So, can you start with little bit introduction? I already gave your introduction, so if you want to add something, just brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, so as you mentioned, like I have done my bachelor's in civil engineering branch. So then I moved to ISM for my MTech as in earthquake science and engineering from Department of Applied Geophysics. There, with my guide, I had an opportunity to work on my research project. So research project, and during my research project, I was able to go for some conferences, and I had one published paper. So
Mm.
after doing some research, I got interested in doing a PhD. Then I
Mm.
was looking for PhD position all over the world. I
Mm.
have emailed professors to US as well, and I have applied for Australian universities also. But then
So,
positions came.
Pragya, sorry to interrupt you. Before I come to this part, I just want to know like what was your CGPA in bachelor's and your master's CGPA, and other thing is whether you have any of other exam along with this your MTech and bachelor's exam, whether you wrote GRE, IELTS. Can you briefly tell me about that?
Okay, so my CGPA during my bachelor's was 8.11,
Hmm.
and my master's CGPA was 8.65, and
Okay.
I have given TOEFL, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't given GRE or IELTS. I have given TOEFL for English proficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So these tests I have given.
Okay. So, when did you decide like I have to go for PhD and you start preparing for all these exams and documents, whatever you need? But when did you actually start preparing for these for your PhD basically?
I started preparing for my PhD during my second semester.
Okay.
So at that time, I decided I will go for my higher education, and at that
Mhm.
time, I started looking for what test I have to give. So last year, October, I gave my TOEFL when I was in third semester. So
Okay.
during my masters only, I have started giving exams
Mhm.
and started preparing my documents.
Okay. So, if you don't mind, can you tell our students like what is the TOEFL requirement? Basically, what score you need in these Scandinavian countries and how much you got?
Uh, what I remember is like 80 TOEFL score is sufficient, and
Okay.
there are uh, section wise cutoffs as well. And my TOEFL score was 99.
Hmm.
Uh, so I well, like most of the universities have 80 as TOEFL score,
Okay, 80 is
except
the
few
cutoff
countries.
for most of the universities. Okay, yeah, that's true for US also. Many universities have cutoff of 80. But I think if you are above 80, some universities have sectional cutoff, but that's a different story. Overall, I think 80 is required. So out of TOEFL and IELTS, you have to write only one exam, I think, right?
Yeah,
And in Scandinavian countries and in European, basically countries, there is no need for GRE. That is true,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so I will come to this part. Like many students have this confusion whether I should go to US or I should go to European universities. How did you decide like I want to go to Europe only or Australia, New Zealand also you mentioned. How did you decide? Is it because of GRE exam or there were some different factors?
Time is the biggest factor, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because though USA takes about 4.5, 5 years for the PhD, but European countries have this thing like, in fact, Australia also, like they want to complete the PhD in 3 years, 3.5 years duration,
Okay.
maximum 4 years duration, including the teaching work, which is with
Mm-hmm.
my university. So time is the biggest constraint, and salary also in Nordic countries, salary is also a deciding factor in my case. So that's why I decided to go for European countries.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. The next thing which I want to ask, so there are many European countries, Australia, New Zealand. So before getting this selection, how many places you actually applied, and if you didn't apply, actually, how many universities or how many professors to whom you have sent emails and all?
So for USA, I have uh, actually emailed a lot of professors,
Mm-hmm.
about 60, I will say. So 60
Okay.
professors I have emailed, and I have also emailed professors from Germany also and Australia also, because in
Mm-hmm.
Australia you have to contact your professor first,
Mm-hmm.
then you can proceed with the application. So
Okay.
about 60 or 70 emails I have done in total, and I have
Mm-hmm.
applied in European countries. For example, I have applied in Germany also, in Amsterdam also, TU Delft, not Amsterdam, but TU Delft University, and Norway. I have also applied for different universities, and from
Mm-hmm.
Oslo, I have got the offer.
Okay. Now you have got the selection. So can you tell the students like what is the role of emails? Emails are very, very important in USA and Australia, New Zealand. That I know, but I'm not sure about European universities. Some students have experience. They directly applied and they got the admission. Other students, they send email. They got the replies from the professor. Then they apply. They got the admissions. So what was your case? Like you got the replies when you sent the 60, 70 emails.
Like from USA, actually it depends about the timing. But if I have to talk about European
Okay.
universities, so I got replies from European universities as well, but
Mm-hmm.
replies were mixed. For example, if a professor has a position, then he will say, please apply to this position, then we'll check. If
Okay.
professor, like few professor actually checked my profile, and they actually replied to me like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, your profile is suitable. And in fact, I had an interaction in France when I applied. So I had an interaction before the actual interview also happened. However, I like rejected that offer beforehand.
Okay.
So uh, like it is possible if we directly email a professor, and if we can relate to their work, so it's more likely that they will respond. And in my
Mm,
case, professor responded actually. And
mm,
in Australia also, professor was very positive and he replied. In fact, he
mm,
also helped me with my research proposal when I submitted.
mm,
So email has a very important role, and I think it's very much important to start emailing professor early,
mm,
because then you
mm,
get a experience like how to write an email.
mm. Okay, now next I'm going to talk about only this position where you got selection. So first of all, how you found this position. Then once you found, what next you did after that.
So this position, actually there are very various job portals.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if I have to talk about Norway particularly, so
Mm-hmm.
Job Norway is the portal where we can find every position, like
Okay.
PhD positions and other work related positions also get posted there. So I was constantly checking about the any available position, and then I saw this position. A
Okay.
very proper description we can find about the position, what they are expecting and what details, what
Mm.
requirements they need. So then the next step is to write a cover letter, and
Okay.
you have like a very streamlined process in the Job Norway portal. Every
Mm-hmm.
question they will ask, like they will try and help you to make a proper application.
Mm-hmm.
So but the most important part during the application process is your cover letter, like how well you can describe yourself.
Okay.
So then I tried to write my best cover letter, and then application was through,
Mm.
and within a
So,
week I got a call for interview.
okay. So according to you, cover letter plays a very important role in this whole process, right? And
Yes.
what do you think about CV? Some students say like you need a CV in Europass format, or do you think like formatting is important, or what you have in your CV that is more important?
I would say in my case I have only one CV which I have sent to every professors,
Okay.
but it is very important like how well is your CV, like how
Mm-hmm.
much weight your CV has. For example, if you have a good research paper or conferences, that actually matters, and they will look at it. If I
Mm-hmm.
have to recall, one of the professor directly asked me like what project you did, and like how you presented your paper in conference. So these things actually matters. If they will read it, they will obviously see that section,
Okay.
application section. So Mostly publication section is very important.
So how
Like
many
in my case,
publications you have when you applied?
uh,
How many you have at that time?
when I applied, I was actually having three conferences abstract and
Hmm.
one paper accepted for the publication. But
Okay.
I had one paper in like preparation, so I have also mentioned that there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now I got your point. Like you found this position on Job North and then you applied with cover letter, with your TOEFL score, with your CV. So next thing I want to know, when was that? And after how many days you got the interview call? How is the interview process?
So, like 25 July was the deadline of the application, and I got the email by 5th of August stating like I have been shortlisted for the interview. Then they asked me for my suitable time, and interview was set up by 23 of the August.
Okay.
Then it took about a month before
Mm-hmm.
I received anything from them. So
Mm-hmm.
after a month, they asked to meet me again for an informal interaction where they want to know a little bit more about my project, and they had few doubts in their mind, so they want to clarify that. And after
Okay.
my second interview, I got a call letter, not call letter, but the email stating like I have been selected by 9th
Mm-hmm.
of the October. So 28 I had the interview, second interview, and by
Mm-hmm.
9th I got the letter. By
Okay.
9th I got
So,
the email.
before I come to this offer letter, I want to know like how difficult was that interviews? Was they going to ask you technical questions, a lot of technical questions, or it is mix of HR plus technical questions?
It is mix of HR plus technical questions. Basically, in my panel, there were three interviewers. So
Mm-hmm.
they were asking about my thesis, like what I have done, and they asked like situational questions. What would you do if this was the case? And basically, they will try to understand your thesis and how you have worked on your thesis. In
Okay.
between, they will ask few questions. For example, how you can manage stress during PhD, and these kind of
Mm-hmm.
questions they also
HR
ask.
questions. Okay. So, is it difficult for Indian student to understand the accent and all, or it's very fluent? English is very good. So, did you face any difficulty to understand the accent of the professors?
In Norway, I didn't because they were very clear. And
Mm-hmm.
in case if I am not able to understand, so I asked them like, please, you can repeat. However, when I gave interview in France, there I faced a little difficulty with the accent, the French
Mm-hmm.
accent. I won't
But
lie.
professors, I think they are very good. Like they will repeat your question. They will not judge you because you are from different country. Obviously, accents are different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like sometimes students will face the difficulty, but it's not a big issue. It happens to everyone. Hmm. And last thing which I want to know, so when you got the offer letter, you said like 9th October is on 9th October you got the offer letter. So now how much time you have to basically apply for visa and start your classes over there? Not classes, your research, because obviously it's like a job. And if you don't mind, can you tell us about the standard scholarships which every PhD student will get over there from University of Oslo? And I think overall in Norway, it's some sort of standard money which you will get. So can you tell me that?
So by 9th, I have received the email stating like I will receive the offer letter. I have received my offer letter on 16th of October, and they have given me 2 weeks time to actually sign and give that back.
Accept that. Okay.
Yeah, and now they are expecting me to be there by 16th of January. So it will take about 2 to 3 months. I am
Mhm.
going through that process right now. And
Okay.
talking about the scholarship, actually there is a specific range. They will mention how much salary you can get. For example, in my case, the range was from 525,000 NOK to 575,000 NOK, and I got 548 600 NOK
Mhm.
about salary, which is, if I have to convert, is about 42 lakhs INR. But this is before
That's huge
taxes,
actually.
so
Yeah.
uh, like after taxes, uh, like Nordic countries are expensive. However, this is also truth that Nordic countries people are very well paid. So
So
I think this
I'm
is the
I'm
uh,
very sure like you did some research. So is it possible for PhD student to save 1 lakh Indian rupees and send back to home in India?
this is possible. This is very much possible. For
Hmm.
example, the rent is the, I think, biggest expense there. So if we are clever enough and we can take in a little outskirts of the like in the city,
Mhm.
because Oslo is expensive.
Mm.
So it's very much possible like we can get a room in 9,000 to 11,000 NOK, and if I have to consider 10,000 NOK for other things, almost after taxes 35,000 NOK I can get. So if I'm only able to spend 21 to 22,000 NOK, so a lot of money can be saved.
Mhm.
It's very much possible.
Okay, Pragya, that's great. I think our mentor, Sayam sir, is also there in University of Oslo. You can take his help for visa and all. And I hope you will record next video with him over there in University of Oslo. I'm very excited about that. Uh, the other thing which I want to tell every student, so I hope you had PhD positions in India also, because there are a lot of PhD position in India. You have chance to join that, but still you choose this abroad option. Uh, my experience, it's very good because I want every student to go outside for at least one of the course. Either it can be masters or PhD, so that you'll get some sort of branding. And more important than that, it is the international exposure, which I'm very sure now you are going to get. You will learn a lot over there. It's a very like life changing moment for you also. But I wish you all the best, and it is, I think, really helpful for the students who are planning to go for PhD and all in different countries. So thank you very much, Pragya, and congratulations to you once again.